and think and think and think. She's always on my mind. But they say I'm not allowed to feel this way.
Cheers.
I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed.
So I woke up at 4 in the morning, wide awake. I just woke up. And I was like, I'm not going back to sleep. I got to be at work at 7. And I was like, I just started listening to Howard Stern clips on YouTube and just laying there. And by the time then it was 6, and then I was I'm going to work. So when I got home from work, 2, I just went to sleep. I was so tired, man. I'm still pretty beat. But I got a letter from my friend Lom. It's a long letter, so I'm gonna read some of it. Artie, my man, how's it going? I was going to send this right after I got your letter, but I couldn't find my USB for printing, and I got sidetracked helping this dude I know renovate a house, top to bottom, so that sucked. Haha. Anyway, thanks for the letter. Always great to get snail mail. Thanks so much for the zine, movie catalog, and DVD. I don't even... What DVD did I send you? The catalog takes me way back. Used to have a bunch of old VHS bootleg catalogs. It was always fun going through those. The zine looks cool. The pink paper and gray ink makes me feel like I'm trying to read an old carbon copy receipt. Maybe a school handout? Definitely looking forward to checking that out. I looked up the included DVD, and while I remember the Ghost House series, I don't think I ever watched one. The premise sounds great, so thanks, man. Stoked to check it out. Did I send you Ghost House? I dig the typewritten letter. It looks cool as hell and it's easy to read. I have an old manual typewriter, but it needs a ribbon, so currently it's just a prop. If I can find a ribbon, I'll type up a letter on it for sure. Personally, I like the imperfections in the typing. Oh, and thank you so much for the YouTube video. That was actually pretty great. It made my day. Felt like we were just sitting around, hanging out, bullshitting, and talking movies, which is always awesome. I agree. I don't mind you reading the letters on air at all. I always like the letter portion of your videos and wish there were more. Yeah, people actually like this. Dang, your music zine sounds like it was pretty cool, but maybe also kind of a hassle? Yeah, it sure was. You scored some crazy titles from the library. I noticed Kino is really kicking ass with titles. If you catch a sale and the prices are really good. I'm still tripping out that your library had Sallow. I know, me too. But I mean, they probably have the book too, so I guess that makes sense. But yeah, I still need to go to the library for sure. Last time I went though, it was a long time ago, but it was just all sketchy as AF, MFs using a dial-up internet. Dude, that's awesome that you lay out your zine old school and that you enjoy it so much. It's fun as hell to read, and while your literary voice has changed over the issues, it's always enjoyable reading it. We seem to like a lot of the same movies, but if we compared our movie collections, we'd have a lot of the same stuff. Are the Infinity Gauntlet comic books the same story the big Marvel movies are based on? I haven't read comics in years. Last big storyline I remember was the Marvel DC crossover Dark Phoenix. That was cool, but the movie was weak in comparison. When I was into comics, I remember liking Jim Starlin quite a bit. Also, I was into the old Len Wein, Michael Moore, Swamp Thing comics in the early to mid 80s. But I'm probably retarded, so don't listen to me. So that's on page 2. There's a lot. I don't really read it all. I'll continue it if I remember in the next video. I'm going to turn this down. This Peter Stubb that I got, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's really good. I really like it. So, I got Bloody Christmas from the library. This was like a Shudder movie. I didn't even know. Like Barbarian. I got this from Lom. Barbarian still hasn't been released on any physical format, but Bloody Christmas has, which is cool. So yeah, I got some other cool DVDs from Blu-rays from the library, but there's somewhere in the ether. So I'm not gonna review a movie. What I'm gonna review is Marvel Epic Collection: The Amazing Spider-Man: Invasion of the Spider Slayers. This is awesome. I love it. When I buy these Epic collections, I don't read them right away, because I remember like when I first started collecting movies, I would buy a movie and I would watch it immediately, and then I would be like, well, look at my movies, and I was like, I've watched everything. There's nothing new. So I kind of like to build up, media, to have something always on hand. But that's like turned bad too, because now I have so much stuff that I haven't seen or read. So like I was gonna wait to read this, and then just something. Let me start it. So the first story, it doesn't even actually have anything to do with the Invasion of the Spider Slayers story. It's this Doctor Strange, Spider-Man and Doctor Strange story, The Way to Dusty Death. And it's really good. This is a really good story. The art's not your typical like Spidey art. It's more like Doctor Strange. It's more fitting for Doctor Strange. And like they have to save this girl who, it's a weird story. There's this wizard who loved this girl and he tried to keep her alive, but she died and her spirit went to the afterlife, and her body was still like alive. So they're trying to. She just wants to die. Like she's dead, and she's like, I'm dead. I should be dead. I shouldn't be alive anymore. So basically, it's just her, like Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, trying to convince the sorcerer that loves her that she's dead. She should be dead. So that was really good. And it's just one of those stories. Actually, it had me thinking. Like at the end, and it's a long story too. At the end, yeah, it has Spidey thinking about Gwen Stacy and Uncle Ben, and how he's come. I mean, they're gonna rehash this too, but this story seems like he's doesn't blame himself anymore for their deaths, which he always had. So that was really good. And then it has another comic. I remember you could only get this comic like if you sent like you buy some candy or cereal and you send the proof of purchases, and that's the only way you could get this comic. Well, now I have it. I remember I was like, that sucks, so I'm not gonna do that. And it's a story about Daredevil was defending Eddie Brock, and like he asked Spider-Man to testify, to be a witness. And it just shows how like Matt Murdock, Daredevil, he can be a real prick sometimes when he's in this lawyer mindset, because he tells Spidey, well, I'll just subpoena you and you'll have to do it. And then like Spidey will ask him a question about Venom, and he's I can't tell you, it's was it a client lawyer privilege? It was a good story too. And then we get into the 6-part Invasion of the Spider Slayers, which is a great title. And dude, it was so good. Like I found I was eating this up. The writer, David Michelinie, is just he's a great writer, man. He just has this real knack of, I think I've only read his Spidey stuff, but dude, he just has such a great knack. He's got Spider-Man and Peter Parker down. There's a part where Peter Parker is depositing his check into this bank, and he's like thinking to himself, he deposits, he's cool. He's that dime was getting lonely in there. I thought that was so funny. But then, not only is his writing spectacular and amazing, the art by Mark Bagley. Dude, he's so perfect for, I think, just comics in general, but perfect for Spider-Man. I mean, this is what comic books are supposed to look like. And with Michelini and Bagley combined, dude, it's just great. I love the way he draws Silver Sable. I love the way he draws everybody. So yeah, there's a scientist. He wants to kill Spider-Man, and he's designed all these Spider Slayer robots to attack him. There's like this weird demonic looking one. This weird one. It's an amoeba robot. Actually, this should be a movie. Like, I love all the movies, even the Andrew Garfield ones, and the last ones with I can't remember his name, but No Way Home, Homecoming, Far From Home. Those are really good, but there's a lot of emotional stakes in those. This could just be like an action Spider-Man movie with a little Peter Parker in it. And Mary Jane. Actually, this is when Spider-Man's parents came back. And that was good too, actually, the way they incorporated it. What happened with his parents, it was really lame, and they didn't know what to do with it, I think. But in here, it's really good. Yeah, the invasion of the Spider Slayers, 6 issues, and I ate it up. And then when he finally, the only little quibble I have with it is that when he finally faces, Alfonso Smythe, I thought Spider-Man took him out a little too easy. Kind of anticlimactic. He's the ultimate Spider Slayer. But there's a part where the ultimate Spider Slayer kills a dude in front of Spider-Man, and that just pisses Spider-Man off. Like, don't kill anyone in front of Spider-Man. He will fuck you up. Like, he just smashes the ultimate Spider Slayer, just stops him dead in his tracks, with one punch. He just pretty much, he didn't kill him, but he destroyed him. And then after that, we get into the 30th anniversary of the Amazing Spider-Man with 375 with Venom. Mark Bagley draws Venom awesome. And again, David Michelini, the way he writes Venom too. Venom's so funny and vicious and just crazy. Fantastic villain, great villain. The way he's written in this. And then we get to this is like kind of a thing that's bugged me about comics. And I remember when I would collect, like when they would change, I would get used to an artist, and then they would switch it and they would just kill it for me. So in this issue, Mark Bagley drew the cover, but Jeff Johnson is the guest penciler, and it just, I mean, he's adequate, but he's just not Bagley. And the stories was good, but it's just such an abrupt stop. Maybe if they could have gotten Bagley to ink it, or just like ink it. But these were coming out every 2 weeks. Bagley must have been just, he was like double duty on these. But then it has Amazing Spider-Man Annual 27. Awesome cover. And the cover and the issue were drawn by Tom Lyle, who's really good. Really good. He draws a cool Mary Jane. He draws a good Spidey. Almost like image art in a way. But I was like, okay, I can go with this. You know, this isn't. I think, you know, they intentionally picked an artist close to Mark Bagley. And then I just finished it right now, and it has like a page by David Michelini. Oh yeah, yeah, he's a good writer. He says when the story, like when he wrote the story, he says, let's see, I'll just read the whole thing. We were heading towards our annual bi-weekly binge on The Amazing Spider-Man. That period when the books came out every 2 weeks instead of just once a month. Double the pleasure for you guys, double the pressure for us guys. I just gotten back from the supermarket where I'd been stocking up on such freelancer staples as Jolt Cola, industrial strength aspirin, and gallon jugs of Nerve Tonic, and was preparing to start brainstorming a storyline when the phone rang. On the other end was my ever-energetic spider editor, Danny Fingeroth. He spoke with his usual enthusiasm. I got one word for you. Okay, 5 words. 4 if you count. Oh, never mind. Ready? Here goes. Invasion of the Spider Slayers. Wow. Simple yet powerful in a retro 50s sort of way. I loved it. Great title, I replied. So what's the story to go with it? Hey, Danny offered with the wisdom of Saul. You're the writer. Click. Yeah, just that little... That's such good writing there, too. But then he says, like, he thought, like, it'd be like an alien invasion of Spider Slayers. But they had already had, like, Spider Slayer robots in the past. And he thought, oh, yeah, we could use that. So, yeah. This cost $40, though. It was worth it to me. I don't know if you like Spider-Man enough to purchase something like this. I'm sure there's like Comixology where you can read it on your phone or on your computer. I would never do that. But yeah, this is so great. I just get like my layman novel reviews. I just get lost in those. I got lost in this, and just everything stops, and I'm just into the story. And there's some other good jokes, like that one where Spider-Man, like Peter Parker has like a dime in the bank, and some other, like Spidey and Peter Parker are really funny. Also, a lot of people think Peter Parker goes through these phases where he's a real jerk. I didn't see it in here. Maybe a little bit. But yeah, great cover. Got a little more beer to finish. I don't know what I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna pick another movie that someone suggested, and yeah, this is one of the best things I've ingested. And I again, oh yeah, I would take my time with it too. I was like, I want to finish it. I wanted to keep going. Just this is a great period, and hope you check it out.